Scott-Emuakpor of the blessed memory, who was one of the early parents at Nehemiah International School of Okoko, trusting the spiritual and academic powers of their lives and the leadership of the Mbamalo and Okabwe synergy in those early days of by enrolling three of his six children in the 1996 stroke 1997 section across the primary, secondary, in the Nehemiah International School, including sponsoring several other children across neighboring schools in Ueli and Warri towns. Yes, some of whom he never got the opportunity to meet in person in the late 1990s. Mr. Clement Scott-Emuakpor worked as a manager in the nearby Ueli gas power plant of the then National Electric Power Authority, NEPA. I am Charles Obvious Scott-Emuakpor, and I share the story with you today as one of his children from the 1996 1997 NIS year, and as someone privileged to have had a wonderful soul as a biological father. I recount two events I observed those many years ago. One very warm afternoon, after the close of school, we waited for the usual pickup by my father, who was running very late due to sudden work commitments. Elder and Deaconess Mbamalo at the time had a school bus that took children to and from home in the DSC Alaja area and surrounding communities. Since we lived in farther away Ueli, we were chauffeured to school and didn't share in the daily experience of riding the school bus with our peers. On this particular day, Deaconess Mbamalo, now Reverend Dr. Mrs. Chike Mbamalo, who was the administrator at the time, asked that we join the school bus as it was getting late. It would take us to DSC town where our relative resided, and that she would stay behind in the school premises at the Nehemiah ministry and look out for my father to tell him where we were whenever he arrived. Since there were no mobile phones to communicate at that time, my father appreciated the gesture and on our way home spoke about how kind our administrator was to not keep us waiting in the heat alone and hungry after a long day. Sometime later during the term, the school needed to purchase a new school bus, and a circular was sent to the parents of the students who lived in the bus route area. I mentioned this in person to my father, and the very next day he went to the administrator's office and was the first to present to make a contribution towards the new school bus, a Toyota Hiace people carrier. As a young, silent observer, I witnessed a play of kindness and a sheer sense of dignity from these adults, with no thought of reward, and also that one good turn deserves another. Perhaps in my subconscious, it was admirable and became a massive ingredient in my life many years on. Lastly, in 1997-1999, the school organized a practical excursion for the school students to local factory to see and learn how particular things were produced. One day, we were taken to the then Delta Glass Bottling Company and learned how glass is made from soda ash mixed with limestone and other components, and then thanks to engineer Scott-Emuakpor, we were able to visit the Ughelli glass power plant and saw how electricity was generated from multiple large turbines rotating by combustion from ignition and burning of gas mixed with compressed air. I also thank God for using our pioneer principle anti